YouTube family, thanks for stopping by the channel. Whether you're here for the in-depth cryptocurrency analysis or the mediocre gaming clips, I appreciate your support. Per usual, the views in my videos are not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. And as always, keep the hate in your heart and not in my comments. Enjoy the content. Hey guys, it's Nighthawk, back with another video. First and foremost, let me apologize to all of you guys. I know I don't have a crazy following or anything like that, or a whole bunch of people, but I appreciate all of you guys and the fact that you even deem my content quality enough to actually watch it. I know my views have been going down a whole lot since I haven't been putting out tons of we're going thousands of percentages and blah blah blah, which I still think is it's going to happen eventually. No matter what, that is going to happen. We will go thousands more of percentages, whether it takes a year or 2 years or whatever. This space is so young. It is so new still. Even Bitcoin, from where we are now, people, if you still expect Bitcoin to go to 300,000 plus, which most people do, I don't see that happening too soon, within the next 5 years for sure. Maybe next bull market, but I think we have to have a full bear market first before that happens. However, like what my video is going to talk about today, if 20,000 is actually hit, which I believe it will be, then that could become the floor for this next leg up in the bull market, in which case we'll probably see a double from our last all-time high, so 120K or so. That means we would have to go a whole nother 100% from there to even be able to get kind of close to 300,000 for a Bitcoin. But if you still think that's possible, I still think that companies that are developing wallets and testnets and making their own blockchain and actually bringing utility to their coins, such as Safemoon or Flare or XRP, things like that, those are going to be the coins that end up going tens of thousands of percentages over the next 5 years, compared to something that has already grown so much like Bitcoin. Just remember that Bitcoin at one point was just fractions of a penny, right? Getting back to what I was saying before, I appreciate all of you guys, and I'm sorry that I have not been more consistent. I plan on being on a very tight schedule soon. I'm working on getting all of my daily life stuff and everything sorted out so that I will be able to post at the same days, around the same times, and have that be a consistent thing for you guys. I know I keep saying that every video. I haven't had a chance to really do any of that stuff. I haven't even had a chance to start recording content for my paid classes, which, by the way, I think is going to be a one-time purchase type of thing, and then with the option of sort of like a premium being a monthly subscription for trades and things like that, and personalized help from me, to where you probably won't have my personal phone number, just because I think that'd get crazy, but you'll probably have you will have some sort of direct communication with me, either in a private Telegram group or private Discord group or something. I'm still trying to work it out. I've already created the Discord group for it, so I think I'll probably go that route. But so yeah, basically it would be like a one-time payment. I'm still trying to work out how much to charge. The classes I took, which were really, really great and very in-depth and provided a lot of knowledge, I paid $2,000 for. And I know a lot of people who follow me that are invested in Safemoon. I don't, no one take this the wrong way, but I just know that people that I've seen that are putting in $100-$200 or whatever here and there probably don't have the money to pay all of that at once. So I'm looking at possible payment plans, things like that, so people can start gaining this knowledge and everything. But the payment plans would be, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff I'm working on, guys. Anyways, let's get right into it. I called for $20,000 Bitcoin last time. I still see that happening. I still think that based on current market structure and market trends that we are going down to that area for sure. Let me write something down. Okay. I have a hard time looking at the current market and thinking, wow, this looks super good. This looks healthy. It does not to me whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so today we're going to go over a few things. We're going to go over Bitcoin first, then we're going to go over XRP, and then we're going to go over Safemoon. I'm going to try to keep each of these very brief and easy for you guys to kind of just follow along and just at the most basic level, not have any emotions in it, not have anything that's going to hinder you guys other than just looking at realistically how the market looks, right? So let's get right into it here. I'm going to pull this chart up here, which is something that I made this chart, I don't even know, months ago, 2 months ago, maybe somewhere around there. I drew all these support and resistance lines. I did all of this stuff here. And I wanted to show you guys very, very quickly, okay? This was, let's see, I did this chart actually, now that I think about it, when we were up here-ish. So this was back in the beginning of May. Yeah, so coming up on 2 months, actually, exactly that I made this chart. All right? I'm going to clean up some of these lines very quickly here because we don't need them anymore. So we can see here on the Bitcoin chart, all right, I had mapped out exactly what we would be at if we dropped a certain percentage from this top, okay? So here I had tracked all the way back from, this was the 8th of January, 2021. We had a high leading to February 21st, we had a higher high. And then here on March 12th, so these are about, let's say roughly a month on average apart, these swings, okay? This was another higher high. So we had 3 higher highs followed by our peak. Our peak here was then back tested. So our peak was in 13th of April. We back tested kind of the bottom of the support of that peak on the 9th of May and then proceeded to absolutely just go way down. I called this saying this is our first lower high we've actually created after we got rejected from it huge. And I said we have to hold this support level here and then move our way up. If we don't, we're totally screwed, right? I had mapped out what 30% would put us at as far as, you know, a price drop, along with support and resistance lines here that I put in. I mapped out what 40% would put us at, right, at 36,000. And if you look how, if we draw a little line here, this extension of this line of our support and resistance that came all the way back from January, the beginning of the year, right? Look at all these candles that were closing and opening in this little box here. This little range from 38,000 to 36,000. We had a lot of action on Bitcoin. We then proceeded to have a 50% drop. I drew all this stuff out and people were like, oh, you're crazy. There's no way that's going to happen. 100%. That's exactly what happened. And look where we are now, right? If we look at the charts now, we are back into the bottom of the support range of the beginning of May or the middle of May, which was also, we were testing in the end of January. So we've come all the way back 4 months later, basically 5 months and some change to come test this whole area all over again. So here's my 100% honest theory and opinion on this, guys, is this here is not good. Absolutely not good. There is nothing good on any of these charts. We have a massive death cross happening up here where the 100-day is crossing down below the 200-day here. We've already had death crosses back here from our 50-day, I think it is, that we have here. Yeah, our 50-day moving average. Our moving averages are having death crosses. That is not something that you want to see at all. You never want to see death crosses in general. They're not good. That's when your MAs start crashing down through each other, basically, right? Driving down, which is the price driving the MAs down. So if we look here, these are daily candles, by the way. So there's a lot of information inside of each one of these candles we're about to dive into. But look where we are. We're on the bottom Bollinger Band poking out of it. And this last candle here, this last candle is what really has me worried on this last daily, right? Because if we look at this one from the 14th of July, we had what looked like a reversal. It looked like a reversal, like we were holding this range that we needed to in this mid 31,000, right? We held it just like we did in back here too, all the way from the 19th of May. We held this range. We bounced off of it perfectly, did exactly what we needed to do. And then we came back down on the 8th of June. So that was like half a month later. We came back down and tested that area again, bounced off of it like crazy, right? And what's happening? We are consistently, let's look at the support and resistance lines I drew over here. We're consistently being rejected by support and resistance. Okay? Consistently. Oops, sorry. Which is, that's not good. It is not good. So if we were to draw, let me find my little ellipse button here. I love these ellipses, right? See, we got rejected here. We got, then again, rejected here. And then basically there's been no testing of this area up here in 40,000 ever since then. And people were thinking we were going to on this candle. But this candle here is what really, really worries me. This setup that we have going on right here, because this was a failed rally. We went all the way down to 31.4, and we bounced up to 33.1, which was a good move for the daily candle, right? And we sucked up, finished it green too, so we created a nice wick, which would be an ideal scenario if we would have been able to hold that. You know why? Because this whole range here, we would have finally bounced up and out of it. Right? We would have bounced up and out of this range, and then it would have been like, okay, yeah, we're set, guys. We're taking off. Because then the next thing that would have printed over here would have ended up being a green candle, which would have had a absolutely different look to it, right? It would have, our structure would have looked like this. Sucked up in a green candle, and we would have come up and test up here. Probably came back down a little bit, maybe back tested the middle Bollinger Band, and then we would have started moving up more, okay? What did we have happen? The opposite. We're seeing the opposite play out. Instead, we're seeing this happen, where we came back up, and now it looks like we're going to be heading way back down, okay? That's the way the structure is setting up right now. If we go and we look at some of these other indicators and stuff. Let's look on the daily here. We still got room to move in the stochastic RSI, right? We're getting close to zero, but if you look also, there's only been one time we've really turned around from this region, and it hasn't really happened on the daily. We haven't turned around from this region without bottoming out until we had the actual blue line of the stochastic here, the stochastic RSI here. This blue portion seems to always come down and bottom out, right? If we look into the past, this is the middle of January, so this is when we were seeing our last moves happen before we started going to our peaks, right? So from here, we had the blue extend all the way down to zero, which we're almost at, and the red got down to about 6 on the RSI, so we're at 12 right now, so we would need that to drop a little bit more. Even then, it didn't have really a full breakout for a little bit, right? It took 2 weeks from that point. So there's the RSI. I'm going to clear this one off here. Let's go look at the MACD. What's the MACD doing? Huh? Nothing. It's switching red again. We're having another crossover here on the MACD. Not a good sign. That means that here, if we look at the MACD, right, we can watch how we kind of had a peak here, and then we had another peak on this green wave, and then we had a crossover, and then we clearly lost tons of volume. And now we're starting to switch to the downside again on the MACD. And we did have a switch over here before we continued moving up, but let's remember that this move up, right, when we had that last switch, this was just a mini relief rally, and it's leading us to further consolidation to the downside, right? Not looking good. So if I go over here really quick and I go to, I'm going to check out my Bitcoin perpetuals. If we look on dailies, the last signal that we got here was a sell signal on the cipher. We've had sell signals all the way on the daily from up here. Had a couple buy signals, just relief rallies. And then on the smooth Heiken IC candles, I think I said that right. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It just says H-A. I think it's Heiken IC. I could be totally wrong though, because I'm, white and I suck at pronouncing things. We're technically in a downtrend according to those indicators too. So we don't really have a whole lot going for us that's showing, we're ready for a breakout or anything like that, right? We have to hold this level for Bitcoin. We have to hold this level. If we lose this level down to 28,000 or whatever, once we break the area that the low we just made recently, so our local low, let's say, here and here, those are the areas that, like, when we start breaking past these areas here, it's going to be not good. So those levels would be 30,000 and then breaking, basically if we break below 29,000, I take that back. If we break below 30,000, I'm fully expecting us to go past 28,000 on the next leg down. I am seeing a lot of that in the charts here. I just don't see much positive sentiment I can tell you guys or anything. So let's take a look at the longer charts, because this move is clearly taking a while to play out, right? And that's okay, but let's take a look here. On the MACD for the 3-day candles, we're having a crossover to a red wave, which we're already in a continued red wave. So it looks like we are crossing over. On the stochastic RSI on the 3-day, we're up at 80, starting to cross down. Not good. The DMI, we're not really seeing a whole lot of indication of anything there. But I'll get rid of those. Just keep the basic ones here. This should be what you're really looking at here, right? Those MAs driving down here. We can see this one starting to curve down too. Definitely not good, guys. If we start breaking below 30,000, we are heading lower. Let's look at the 14-day. Each one of these candles is 2 weeks. Once again, we're just holding support and resistance levels, but look at all of these red candles we've been printing, right? And then also, if we zoom in here, look at the wicks on these candles that we've been doing for the 2 weeks, right? I mean, that's a huge range. Man, if you're making trades on Bitcoin right here from 31,000 up to 37,000 and then back down, like, this is just money. Like these wicks are just amazing for if you were getting in on these trades here. But regardless, we have all this buying pressure trying to stop the sell-off here, right? We have tons of buying pressure trying to stop the sell-off, and yet nothing can. Nothing is stopping this action from happening. So if this were to continue, if we see a huge leg down, our next MA below that on the 14-day, so the 2-week time frame, would be at 20,600, 20,500 range. Right around that marker that we're talking about, right? So is it realistic that we see a giant red candle come down here and suck back up? Well, what have we been seeing here? We've been seeing drops of from 40,000 all the way down to 30,000. That's a $10,000 drop there. If we were to move another $10,000 drop, it would put us right about that range, right? Let's take a look at the weekly, and then I'll dive into XRP and Safemoon. I'm painting a picture for you guys, by the way. I hope you understand why I'm showing you Bitcoin first, and why I always show you Bitcoin first is because Bitcoin still moves the market. It is still the grandfather of cryptocurrency or whatever, even though I think it's borderline worthless. Personally, I believe that. Other than trading and, maybe speculative investment or whatever, which I think like 95% of cryptos are speculative investments and worthless. But Bitcoin is still the big daddy, right? It still will tank the market. It'll still make the market run up. It'll still have its cycles that it generally starts first and then the other coins follow. So you have to always keep an eye on Bitcoin and crypto because it is literally the leader of the pack still. That's just how it's going to be for a while, I think. So here, if Bitcoin starts to take an absolute dump on everyone, I would expect XRP and Safemoon and all of them to follow the same path, right? That's just logical thinking. That would just make sense because it would just be the beginning of a chain of events there. And that's how everyone would perceive. No one wants to hold on to cryptos while Bitcoin's tanking 20 or 30%. People aren't like, oh, I'm just going to keep holding on to this and, doing my thing. People get scared. They get emotional. They get worried. That's their investments, their life savings. I mean, the last whole sell-off here, to be completely candid, I lost a good amount of money on these last sell-offs here because I got too emotional and I was over leveraged in some long trades and stuff. And I kept looking, everything was looking bullish, and then it just kept going down and down and down. And then I was too emotional and I didn't look at just the facts. Okay. You have to look at the facts and you have to look at the charts and you have to take your emotions out of it. I know everyone wants to be millionaires this year, next year, in a month, in 2 months, right? Thinking of waiting 5 to 10 years to become a multimillionaire, for a lot of people that entered crypto, that's not what they entered crypto for. They entered crypto to be a millionaire next month. It's just not how it's going to happen. And you're setting yourself up for a lot of disappointment there. And even when you do get $1 million in crypto, it goes away just as fast. I can tell you that personally, because all it takes is a 50% move down, and then all of a sudden your 7 figures you had is now half of that, and you're back in 6 figures, which is still a blessing. It's still amazing, but it's not what you were at, and it's hard for people to stomach those swings, those losses, all of those things. On the flip side, if you think about what's happening with hedge funds that are buying in to Bitcoin and are bought in late, let's say, which I personally believe most of them had been buying in since $3,000 and stuff. But let's say there was some big whale that bought in at Bitcoin at $60,000, and they put tons of money in there. I mean, imagine the swings on their bags. You're talking tens of millions, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. A lot of these guys' bags are swinging on a weekly basis. You have to act like you're the smart money, and you have to act like you're part of that 1%. Where this stuff doesn't phase you, right? You just keep chugging along. It's all good. You just keep buying the dips. It's really all you can do for average investors anyways. And always taking profits. I hope a lot of you took profits off Safemoon when we were up at our last little highs and stuff. I told you 1200 range and on Bitmart was going to be a sticky area for us. And we bounced off of that and we've never returned to it since. I don't think Safemoon is over. I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's done. I think it's just reacting with the rest of the market, reacting to what Bitcoin is doing. Look at all of the other coins. They're doing the same thing. They're all dumping. They're all down. They're all red. I mean, it's if Safemoon was dumping 40, 50% on a day where nothing else was, I'd be worried then. I would start to worry then, but I wouldn't panic, guys. Same with XRP. I mean, XRP is my baby, and it's just holding. It's just doing what Bitcoin's doing. It's just slowly consolidating to the downside, and eventually we're going to find our bottom and we're going to bounce back. Could take a couple months. Who cares? Keep buying more. This is an opportunity for you to really load up your bags again. You just saw the potential of the bull run, right? We just saw the massive potential of what crypto can do to your wealth and how it can actually change the value you have in your account now to what it was at those peaks, right? That hasn't gone away, guys. That's still there. Do not lose sight of that. Add more to your bags. Just buy more. Very simple. On the weekly, we're looking at the MACD here. We're still in a red wave on the weekly, so we could continue that red wave very easily. I'm going to go ahead and toss in my stochastic RSI here since I got rid of it. Weekly stochastic RSI, we're pretty much, we're getting close to bottomed out there. But we have not had any sort of major indication that this is going to turn around. I mean, even looking into the past on the weekly, it takes a long time for these moves to play out. I mean, even just from the bottom here, this is the 9th of September, 2019. Took all the way till the 17th of February, 2020 to hit this peak from this bottom here. Oh, I'm not even, sorry. So from this bottom here was the 19th of September, 9th of September, 2019. So middle of September 2019, it took all the way until February of 2020 to complete this move in the stochastic. So these moves take a long time, guys. Be patient. Be patient. It'll all work out eventually, right? It will. I promise you that. And if we're looking at the hourly here, just to kind of see our support and resistance lines that we had drawn out a long time ago, right? Where does the ranges put us now? Well, looks like we got rejected off of all of these MAs up here. And now we're starting to break down below this range that we've been holding for a long time. We've held this range since the 23rd of May. Basically, this has been a strong area of support for us and resistance. I could even expand that range a little bit more, but I'm just going to keep it as it is right now. And that range, once again, being from 32,200 to 32,300-ish, all the way down to 31,500, okay? It's not looking good, guys. It is not looking good. We just lost that whole range right now. Unless we have some crazy bounce back up into this range and then continue up, that's what we have to have. So let's go look at Safemoon, okay? For Safemoon, it doesn't look much better. Look at our last hourly candle here. Or 1 day candle, sorry. Our last 1 day candle here is turning into a giant red wick on top. Not very good. If we go back in the past and we look at other times it's done that, here on July 1st, 2021, we proceeded to then have a whole bunch of red candles afterwards. Kind of looking like that's the same setup we got now, right? With Safemoon, though, we haven't really lost this whole range yet. We're still holding on to this range, which I guess we'll top off of here, okay? So this whole range, we're still just kind of, once we break below, what is this here? 5 zeros, okay? 5 zeros and then 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 0-ish. That will actually be the start of a break in formation here. And we could potentially then see us come all the way back down to close to maybe gaining an extra 0 and going back to 6 zeros here, guys. I hate to say it, but if Bitcoin goes down to 20,000, I would not be surprised to see Safemoon go close to 5 zeros and then 150, okay? Which is a good opportunity to scoop up a whole bunch more, because when this thing starts going again, it's going to be going. I have full confidence that one day we will come back and break this all-time high. I do believe that. And for Safemoon holders, that is awesome news for you, or you should look at it as awesome news anyways, because that means if you're buying here and we go back to our all-time high from where we are now, if we were to buy $1,000 into Safemoon and we go up to our last all-time high, that would put you at almost a 500% gain, which is just phenomenal. That would be absolutely fantastic, okay? 500%. That'd be a 5x. That'd turn you $1,000 into $5,000. Pretty good. So keep adding to, guys. Keep adding to the bags. Absolutely. Really, I mean, there's really not much more analysis I can do on Safemoon, because I feel like I said, Bitcoin is going to move this market. I could tell you whatever I want in Safemoon right now, but even look at the hourly. These are hourly candles on Bitmark. This does not look good. Like, this is just not looking good right now. We're having a lot of sellers step in as we speak, and like I said, I think that is due to Bitcoin looking so bearish and looking so bad right now. I fully expect to see all of the market dumping. Now let's go into XRP very quickly. Same setup as Bitcoin, right? Same setup. This is the daily. Here, I'm going to pull up Bitcoin daily here. Get rid of this. Now let's compare exactly where we're at. On XRP's daily, we went through the Bollinger Band on the 22nd of June to the downside, came back up, back tested our 200-day moving average, and then we have since consolidated downwards to the bottom Bollinger Band on the 15th of July, okay? So what happened with Bitcoin? That last spot was 15th of June, I said, right? So we had basically the same movement. We came down out of the Bollinger Bands for Bitcoin on the 21st of June, and then we came back up, and basically we didn't even touch the MA, but we kind of got rejected by this 25-day moving average for Bitcoin. And then we've come back down, and we're on the bottom Bollinger Band today for Bitcoin. We're seeing lots of correlation between them, right? I mean, those are the same days that Bitcoin dumped, that XRP dumped, and this move here. Just in case you guys are confused, it's this move here that I'm watching. This move here. Let me get this other stuff off the screen. That can be confusing. Okay. So this move here is the same exact move as XRP did here. All right. And then we proceeded to rally up and kind of come back down. Here on Bitcoin, we rallied up, and now we're coming back down. Clearly the whole clearly the whole market is moving with Bitcoin. We just have to accept that it's going to continue to do so, and we have to cross our fingers that as we speak, Bitcoin, before, the week is over or whatever, before we start closing our next, let's see what days we close our next candle out here for Bitcoin. So we just started one on the 12th of July. Okay. So we actually don't have that much. We have like 4 days left before we close this weekly candle. If we close this weekly candle below this green moving average here, right around that 32,000, right? If we close below 32,000 or 31,000, it's not going to be good. So we got 4 days to figure that out. I expect we will have lots of answers in that time. So we really, really need Bitcoin in the market to turn it around right now over these next 3 or 4 days. Otherwise, that is going to be a wrap. We will be heading back down to $20,000 range. I believe we'll go below $28,000. I believe Safemoon will get close to adding another zero. I believe XRP will end up going in correlation with that towards 50 cents to 40 cents, potentially down into 45 cents range would be more realistic to me. Just be prepared, guys. Once again, this is a time for you to add to your bags and increase your holdings, not to be scared because it's your first time experience a massive sell-off. Like, this happens all the time in crypto. All the time in crypto. I mean, even on this other chart here, right, where I did this so that people could see what would happen every time we had a massive sell-off, right? Here we had a run up, then we had a 30% drop, another run up and a 25% drop, run up, 20% drop, and then we had a run up to a 27% drop. Then we had our lower high since March of 2020, and now we're sitting at our peak, what was that, 55% or something? So let's go from our last peak here. From our last peak down to 28,000, it's 55%, yeah, 56%. This is your first time experiencing this for most of you, I'm sure. So from our last peak, if we were to go down to $20,000, that would be a 70% sell-off, guys. 70%. That is a hefty amount to lose on your portfolio, and most people cannot stomach that. But that's why most people will get shaken out, and that's why most people will not have the opportunity to participate in this movement, this whole crypto movement, the blockchain switchover, the quantum financial system, all of the stuff they're building. They will miss out on all of that because they were scared, because they were fearful, because they were like, oh no, it's a huge dump. I'm just going to sell my assets, or I'm not going to do anything with it. I'll just stay with what I have. It's okay. Screw that. Buy more. This is not financial advice though, right? But I mean, seriously, guys, that's what I am doing. I'm going to add to my bags. I am telling you guys what I will personally be doing and what I'm looking for in the market, right? Whatever you guys do with that is your own thing. If you're uncomfortable, then sit on your hands. Don't put any more money in. If you sleep every night and you toss and turn and you have nightmares that your crypto money is gone, you've put too much in probably. And you're probably counting on that moonshot too much, right? And at this point, you're stuck. You're stuck because you're down 40% or whatever on it and you don't want to take the loss. That's fine. The best way to negate those types of losses is to buy at lower prices to have a better dollar cost average. So that way you bought at, let's say, use Bitcoin number here. Let's say you bought at $60,000 and then you bought at $45,000 and then you're buying at 30,000, you now are bringing all your average right there into the middle towards that $45,000 range, right? Which is good for you. As long as you bought the same amount at each of the prices, it would bring your average like that. But let's say we're down at these prices now and you only put $1,000 in at the peak and you're not too stoked on that. Well, if you put $3,000 in right now, that would actually make your dollar cost average way better to the downside. So then that way on our next move up, you're like, yeah, you know what? I bought some Bitcoin at 60 grand, but I also bought some when it was down at 20. So it really averaged out to being, a $35,000 per purchase that I did. And then now all of a sudden we're at $150,000, right? You have to think like that. You have to think in math. You have to think in just logical thinking. Take the emotions out of it. The emotions destroyed me this last sell-off, dude. I was so eternally bullish on Safemoon and XRP and all of that stuff, and I was blinded to see what the charts were showing, and I was too arrogant to accept that we were probably going to the downside more. That's just the truth. But I'm going to wrap this up here, guys. Once again, I hope you guys just keep adding to your bags. That's the best thing that you can do if you truly believe in this market. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick buck or whatever, you're not going to find it here. These moves that I just showed you today can take months to play out. And that's just what's going to happen. The sell-offs, generally it'll be like this. Bitcoin will run up for 2 months and then we'll have a sell-off for 6 months. The sell-offs are always longer than the run-ups, and the run-ups are fast and hard. And then you have to pull your profits or secure them with stop losses or something like that. And then after that, you have to reinvest, right? Pay off some debts, get yourself ahead a little bit because you made a good call on some coins. Pull those profits, change your life as much as you can, little by little, and then reinvest. That is how you have to do it, guys. That's the name of the game. And if you don't need the money, just keep reinvesting it. Buy some other stocks, buy some gold, buy some silver, diversify your portfolio with the profits that you're making here. Make your savings account bigger or whatever. I personally don't want to hold like much cash at all because I think the US dollar is poop, but anyways, guys, thank you so much. For all of you guys who stuck around to the end, I really, really appreciate you. I know my videos can be extremely long sometimes. And just a word of advice for me personally, I would put on these videos while I'm taking a shower or while I'm shaving or getting ready for the day, stuff like that. That's when I would always watch my videos, my training videos, all of that stuff. Just that extra time where you're doing dishes or whatever, put me on a speaker, watch me while you're doing dishes and stuff. Like that's just how I've always done it, to get like all the info that I can and not feeling like I have to sit down and stop everything I'm doing for 45 minutes of a YouTuber's video who likes to rant a lot. But anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I am going to have more videos coming out. I'll probably put another one out this weekend and then start on a regular schedule of something like Monday, Wednesday, or probably like Monday, Wednesday. And then maybe one on Friday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing 3 videos a week or just 2, but I also have to work in my streaming and stuff like that as well. So maybe I'll do just Wednesday, Friday or something. But anyways, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all. Stay tuned. Keep subscribed. Keep doing your own thing. I hope you guys are well. I hope your families are doing well. If anyone from Cuba is watching, my thoughts and my prayers are with the people over there, especially other countries that are having crazy stuff going on right now. Communism and socialism and dictatorship are not the answer, no matter what anyone tells you. And if they ever try to indoctrinate you with nonsense like that, go look at all of the communist, socialist, or dictator-run countries and Name a single one that is better than the amazing United States of America. There isn't. And I hope you guys don't forget that freedom is a God-given right to every single person, no matter where you are on this earth. No matter what country you are in, you should not be subjected to losing your freedom, to forced vaccinations, to any of that stuff. We are human beings. We are not cattle. Don't act like a cattle. Don't act like the sheep. Do not be part of the herd, because the herd always gets slaughtered. And the herd was buying Bitcoin at 60,000, 65,000 when their financial advisors were telling them. And now they're down almost 55% on their entire portfolio. Meanwhile, the sheep herders were buying Bitcoin at $3,300. And then they just sold all their Bitcoin on you guys at the top. That's how it works. Anyways, guys, take it easy. I wish you all good fortune. May your crypto bags stay full. And I'll catch you guys on the next one, okay? Thanks again for stopping by the channel. I appreciate your support. In a second, you're going to see some pop-ups that are going to have all of my social media links and everything that you want to know or hear or see from Nighthawk. So click on them. I hope your crypto bags stay full, and I wish you all good fortune in life. See you on the next one.